Good to be back in the Lord's house. Thank you for this morning's services. All that we've done today. Thank you tonight. I'm looking at
I remember on this trip to Randolph. We did have some good news on it. It's my sister-in-law, Judy. You know Amy. Her mama lives up there. So she told us that she would check on them. So that's a good sign. But it's still scary. Also, I remember with my car situation. Anytime we might just go down. Have I done my last time?
Anybody else?
You're right. Team Press DJ. We all work on today. Hopefully we make a 100% recovery.
Amen.
They said as long as he said as long as he wasn't sick by 9 o'clock, so they don't throw it up, they'll go ahead and eat. So just pray for him.
Yes.
You guys saw the bruises, you saw it. He got banged up pretty good. Pray for Brother Mark Taylor. He needs our prayers.
Yeah.
Pastor was upstairs. He's got to deal with something that no pastor wants to have to deal with. I've been down that road. It's a hard road to know. And just keep me in prayer. Brother Mark, he's my pastor. Other than Gary. Just keep me in prayer. We're gonna get it. I do want to say it. He is going to come out. We'll get it set up. Probably a Friday or Saturday night. He will come out. He's going to talk about everything he saw while he's in the Holy Spirit. So, just be listening to pray. Keep praying.
Go ahead, brother. I'll go after you, brother. Go ahead.
Keep praying for his wife also. Yes.
He said Tuesday they have to go to Charlottesville, Virginia. Yeah, I remember our missionaries all across the land. They went. Remember them?
Nathan wants us to remember his surgery tomorrow.
Amen.
Remember Grandma couple?
Listened down there yesterday and having a college prayer meeting. TikTok. Anybody else?
I remember Stephen Janice. I remember me first telling my dad talk about my blood work.
Yeah, I went with one in Philip. I think he's 24. Got a couple of little kids. He had a dirt bike accident Friday. They were actually on the way to our youth rally. He said they were ready to leave for it, and he had a dirt bike accident. And he still takes care of those people living on coming to from Georgia, and they actually had to use some type of device to hold this skull surgery. Brain was swelling. So we're waiting on some kind of a number that tells how much pressure is on the brain. That number has to come down. And last we heard, it wasn't coming down very much. So just wait for him. Still, they don't know if he's going to survive or not. And his dad is a pastor. He's got 2 small kids.
God, Anybody else? If not, it's all okay. We will come up. Brother, can you read us something very nice?
Lord, I'm thankful for the last Lord, you said everything, Lord, that you have done in my life. Lord, I pray that everything that Lord in this condition, Lord, Lord, knowing that I'm here to preach your Lord. Lord, he's here with this church, you more than helping than everyone else. Lord, I pray Lord, you said, Lord, it says you care for me, Lord, because you care for us, Lord. I pray for the man who guards his stands and presents what he has, Lord. Lord, he brings the message here, nothing with it. Oh, Jesus, Lord, we can't do nothing without you, Lord. Without you, Lord, our hands, Lord. Okay, pray we'll get that from the Lord, Lord, as we have one chapter pray for now. Lord, and how you know all about God, help us, Lord, I pray. Lord, I pray. Not the Father, sisters, Heavenly Father. God, I thank you, Lord, I pray in Jesus. Amen, amen.
Get it? You know stuff and song. I had to do it.
They should.
Amen. Good to be back in the house of the Lord. Yes. I desire to be here. My car breaks down one wall. Is it looking from the 409? Tempted and tried of me to wonder why it should be all day long. While there are living there will going the wrong. Father, I know you no longer Father, I understand why. Cheer up, my brother, living the storm. Will understand all that in when the has come taken
It leads our hearts lonely and gray. In you we wander, while others prosper, living so year after Father alone Father alone understand why. Cheer up, my brother, living person, will understand all I faithful to our loving Master, a few more days to labor and pray. Those that good work may seem as good as we sweep through, leaving forget. Father alone no one will carry. Father alone understand why. Cheer up, my brother, living person, will understand all I am.
Hey, listen to this last verse. Listen to what it says. When we see Jesus coming in glory, when he comes from his home in the sky, then we shall be here in that bright sunshine. We'll understand it all I Father, I'm longing. Father, understand why. Cheer up, my brother. There is no sunshine. We'll understand all by Page 57, Amazing Grace.
Amazing grace, God's peace, I sing the wretch like me. I want my God, but what God, but the grace that I want to and grace that He how gracious that grace that He we know that praise God, 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 praise God. Praise God, praise God, praise God.
Lord again.
Yes, sir.
Let's get see everybody out. Good crowd for a Sunday night. Thank God for His many blessings. Man, I thank God for the blessings of today. Boy, you know, when we're tired in body, Brother Ricky, God got there to regenerate.
Yes.
He's got there to renew that strength. Amen. Amen. I thank God for all that He's done. Pray hard for DJ. Don't
Yes.
pray tonight for DJ.
Yes.
He needs our prayers. And let me put it to you like this. He needs our prayers and we need to practice.
Yes.
Amen.
Amen.
Amen. When you think you don't need no more practice at praying, find somebody else to pray for.
Right.
And when you're praying for somebody, you're getting to practice of prayer.
There you go.
Amen.
Well, Josh, you know that's something missing in our church. When we do a 2-minute prayer, hey, we're guilty. We'll do a 2-minute prayer and then on with the service. Then to close out service, we do a minute prayer. We're thinking about McDonald's at the time.
Yeah.
Amen. We need to be thinking more about talking to our Lord.
Right.
Hey, you know what would happen? You know what would happen if you never communicated with your wife? There wouldn't be a love there.
Right.
There'd be no communication. There'd become a divide in between. There'd be something come in between. There's no communication.
Yep.
Same thing with you and the Lord. If you never communicate. Hey, listen, He's always trying to communicate with you. Because you don't ever communicate back my prayer.
Yes, sir.
Come on. There'll come a divide. It's on one side. Amen. Well, I've been looking forward to tonight. Been looking forward to hearing the brother's presentation.
Yeah.
Amen. I think he'll tell us a little bit about his testimony, a little bit about his home church. He'll tell us a lot about his work. Amen. I thank God for this. Amen. And he called me. And brother, I'm going to be honest with you. And you called me. I was at work, driving down the road in the work truck with a crew truck full of men. And I asked him a few questions. And don't get me wrong, church, but you have to ask this day and hour. Because you can't let any Tom, Dick, and Harry come in.
There you go.
Amen. Because I'm telling you, you don't know what you're going to get.
That's it, bro. Right.
Amen. And booked him, and I forgot his name all the way till yesterday. They called. And brother, I was waiting 2 weeks. I even forgot what day I booked you on. I was thankful that you called me yesterday. Amen. You said, well, preacher, you should have wrote it down. It was hard to write. Amen. But I tell you what, I enjoyed this morning's message.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that. What a message.
Yes.
Amen. But y'all pray for him tonight as he comes and presents to us. Amen. God bless you, brothers. Praise the Lord.
Well, that's the Lord. Amen. I appreciate it again. You have to come back tonight and there we go. Is that better? All right. I appreciate you letting me come back tonight and to present our work that God's called us to. And I will say this about your preacher. He's right. I pastored for quite a few years, so I fully understand trying to say, well, we got God's place. You know, sometimes as a pastor, you have to ask the questions that nobody else wants to ask. That's why he's a pastor. And you know, so sometimes if you want to do something and he doesn't necessarily want to do it, then you need to submit to his authority, because God is it's his job to things in that he thinks may harm you or has a chance of harming you as a Christian. So I appreciate his willingness to do that. Now I will say this: sometimes pastors ask some crazy questions. I mean, I don't mean like what your pastor asks. I'm talking about some crazy questions, especially those guys out west. Man, they just well, I saw that they went. Some of them are not even appropriate. You say, and you know, well, I'll tell you this, and just to kind of remind, just to kind of give you. When I call these guys, a lot of times I'll call pastors across the country, from Washington all the way to the East Coast, trying to set up deputation meetings, and sometimes they'll tell you to go to the website and they have a questionnaire for you to fill out. And listen, I had a guy, I'm not exaggerating, I think a 6-page questionnaire, not to decide if he's going to support us, just to decide if he's going to let me come to his church. And I thought, listen, I promise you, and I haven't figured this one out. I don't know what it means. If it's just a hidden message and somebody here knows it and I don't know it, please tell me. The last question on the questionnaire was this, brother: is fire hot? Now, first of all, if you know what it means, that's one thing. Second of all, it can't have anything to do with going to Washington to get people saved. So I'm just saying. So some people ask a dumb question. I used to believe there's no such thing as a dumb question. Well, you had talked to enough pastors. All right. First of all, I have my whole family stand up. They love it when I do this. I'm just kidding. They hate it when I do it. I want to go stand up. And that's my wife there in the blue dress. My son Cameron, who is 12. Emily, who is 9. Jacob, who is 7.
Laura, who is 14, and Caleb, who is 17. Yes, I got it right. That's it. I do that, see if I knew them all. Y'all can sit down. Appreciate it. I do love my family. And, let's go, this is the picture of my whole family together. My last verse is Proverbs 11:30. Some of the kids want me to sign the Bible this morning, and every time I ever sign a Bible, I put Proverbs 11:30 on there. And the fruit of the righteous is pure life, and he that winneth souls is wise. Listen, that's what it's all about. It's about getting people saved.
Yes,
that's what we're after right here. So, we are out of the Humana Baptist Church in Marion, North Carolina, and I don't know if somebody may not know it, may not know where it is, but it's just right in practically downtown Marion. That's our pastor, Brother Tony Shirley. You can go to newmanabaptist.com and check out our home church. I tell people all the time. Listen, I believe in the local church. I believe the things that happen should happen through the local church. When I was pastoring, I would support a pastor. I would not support a missionary who didn't have the support of his local church and of his local pastor.
Amen.
And so I encourage you, if and you say, well, we need to check up on 674-4209. If he asks you, don't tell him I give you out his number. No, I'm just kidding. But you're more than welcome to call and check up on the Randolphs. We have been there for about 7 years. I guess it's around 7 years there at the church, and before that I was pastoring. So we're headed to Washington State. That is the state flag there, of course. And they came into the Union in 1889, but they didn't actually adopt this flag for somewhere in the 1920s. I researched it kind of, and I forgot what it was. Somewhere in the 1920s, they actually adopted that flag as the official flag. Covington is right there where the Green Star is. It is about at a 30-minute drive south of Seattle. About a 30-minute drive south of Seattle. And it comes, if you any of you have ever been out through there, it runs real close to the I-5 corridor, which runs almost the length of the West Coast. From what I can understand, it goes all the way. I know it goes down into California. So that's where we'll be there. Now let me tell you a little bit about it. The state of Washington is the 14th largest state in the United States by population, with over 7 million people. That's a lot of people in one state. And like I said, the 14th largest now. But 57% of the people claim zero religious affiliation of any kind. Sometimes you hear missionaries talk about how that they are, how they're going to a field somewhere and it's 90% Catholic or 90% Muslim or whatever. Well, it's 57% nothing in the state of Washington. The Catholics don't have a good there. The Jehovah's Witnesses don't. None of them do. So at the very and that's he said, listen, that's a good thing. I'd rather than be nothing than to be a Catholic. I'm just telling you. I don't make any bones about that. Listen, they are leading people to hell by the millions. So just stay out of church and don't go at all if you can go to Catholic church. I'm just saying. He said, does that mean no safe Catholics? No, it's not. I have some very good friends who are Catholic. I hope they get saved, and again, there are some people who were saved before they became Catholics. I don't understand that either. But the religion itself, and I'm not criticizing the people, I'm criticizing the religion itself. It is people, and some people want to argue, well, listen, all you have to do is go back during those hundreds of years ago where Catholics were murdering Christians who believed the Bible.
Amen.
So when we go out, there is when we were out there, when I was out there last spring, I think it was, we were soul winning on a Tuesday night, and I kept noticing these signs on the side home. Now they were very nice signs. They were very attractive, and the community we happened to be in, they were very nice homes in this community. They weren't gold. They were colored. They were golden color. But this is what it said. It said, no solicitation of any kind. Whatever you're selling, we don't want it. Now, what that meant was, the long and short of that was, they don't want anybody coming knock on the door about church. They just don't. They don't want Baptists doing it. They don't want Methodists. They don't want anybody doing They just simply don't care about church or anything that has to do with God. Our hope is that before I die, that will not be the case in the state of Washington. We have what we call the Tri-City area. It's not that's not the official name of it. I can work that because it's 3 towns or 3 cities that we feel God has called us to. The first one, the city of Black Diamond, and then the city of Maple Valley, and then the main place, the place that God first put on our heart when we were going to Washington, and the place where our church will be, is the city of Covington. Covington, it will be the New Man Baptist Church of Covington, Washington. And maybe let me tell you just a little bit more about our home church, since I didn't think too much about it. And our church is about 30-something years old. I think maybe 36 years old, I think. Our pastor that's there now has been the pastor for about 10 years. We're just an independent, fundamental, Bible-believing, soul-winning, King James Bible church. We believe in the old-time religion. We don't believe in or support any kind of rock music just to get young people in. We say, what to get young people in? Same thing that God does when we were young people, the preaching of the Bible. To get them in. Listen, if you got to come up with something new to get them in, then you have to always come up with something new to keep them in. And humans aren't smart enough to always come up with something new. So we just do the best idea is just do what God said. Go out highways and hedges and get them. When you bring them in, preach the gospel to them, get them saved, and then teach them to be concerned. Amen. Amen. Now, the demographics of these Tri-Cities, of these 3 cities, Covington, Black Diamond, and Maple Valley, I want you to, it's going to be hard for you to believe what I'm getting ready to tell you. Because we are here in the, just nestled up here in the Blue Ridge Mountains. It's hard to go anywhere with that, and where you can't throw a rock and hit a church. Yeah. That's just the way it is. Matter of fact, I almost moved into the wrong church this morning. The church right across the way there. But listen, the truth is, there's churches everywhere. In McDowell County alone, there's 200, I believe there's 267 churches just in McDowell County alone. And I know for a fact in McDowell County, you cannot drive the same direction 5 minutes and not go to church. I don't care which direction you travel, I don't care where your head is, if you're out for 5 minutes, you will find church. Just so you know. But check this out. Listen to this. By a population of over 100,000 people in these 3 cities, Maple Diamond, Maple Valley, Black Diamond, and Covington, over 100,000 people. The number of independent Baptist churches in the entire Tri-City area. Now listen, all 3 cities, over 100,000 people. This is how many Baptist churches in the entire county. 0. Not 1. Wow. And listen, not only that, listen, there's only 2 churches, period. There's a Lutheran church and a Catholic church. That's it. And I found that online, because when I went there, I drove around, I looked for that Lutheran church, and I looked for that Catholic church, and I couldn't find them. So the website says that somewhere in Covington there's a Lutheran church and Catholic church, but I couldn't find them anywhere. So I know there's no more than 2. I know for a fact there are no Baptist churches, and I know there's no more than 2 churches, period, and I couldn't find those 2. And so at the very most 2 in the likelihood, 0 churches of any kind. Listen, no churches. You know what that means? That means that every person who died in Maple Valley, Black Diamond, or Covington in the last 24 hours, that means they're going to have to, when they go to the funeral home, somebody who works in the funeral home, who doesn't know the family, doesn't care about the family, doesn't care anything about God or right, is going to lead their funeral. They don't have a preacher to do it. That means that if anybody in Black Diamond, Maple Valley, or Covington wanted to go to church this morning, get this, if anybody in these 3 cities went to church this morning, they drove over 45 minutes to get there. No matter what church they went to, they drove at least 45 minutes. This is America. I'm not sure I can keep up with the number of churches that we pass in 45 minutes. Just driving around here. Yeah. But by God's grace, in June of 2016, the number of independent Baptist churches in the entire Tri-City area will increase to 1. That's our goal. And that's what's going to happen. He said, well, you say, well, you know, you sound awful confident. Well, I am confident. I'm not confident in me. Listen, in my flesh dwelleth no good thing.
There you go.
What the Bible says. But see, I have a trump card. The trump card is that I know that the God that created me and created you called the Randolph family to go to the city of Covington, Washington, and start an independent, fundamental, Bible-believing, soul-winning Baptist church. That's what we're going to do. Say, what if they don't let you? I'll tell God on.
Yes, sir.
How about that?
Amen.
Listen, God said to go, and there's no government, there's no rule, there's no city ordinance, there's no nothing that can stop God doing what He wants to do. And I'm just humbled. I'm humbled beyond belief that God would call me and my family. I had a pastor, had another pastor out in Washington. Listen, I don't mean there are no good churches in Washington. There are a few good churches in Washington, but there's 7 million people. You know, so maybe in the entire state, I had a pastor who's been there for 20 years. He said maybe 30 good independent Baptist churches for 7 million people. And I said, when we say good independent Baptist churches, we're being a little bit lenient with that too. You know, the truth of the matter, brother, is the churches that you and I used to go to that believe like we do and do some kind of music that we listen to and believe the Bible the way we believe it. You're talking about in the teens. For an entire state, listen to me, in the teens, for an entire state that was 7 billion people. You will never find anybody who believes in foreign missions any more than Win Randolph. I believe wherever there's a lost person, we ought to send somebody, or we ought to go or send somebody to go to win that lost person to Christ. Ladies and gentlemen, somewhere along the way, we have to keep and send some missionaries to win our own country to Christ.
Right.
I do believe in foreign missions. I support foreign missions. I support faith promise. I participate in faith promise. Somebody has got to win America.
Hey, man.
This is how they make their money. You can see this. This is Boeing. Anybody here been out to Washington State? Have you ever seen this building right here? Right on the side of Interstate 5. That building goes for miles and miles. It's where they build and test Boeing airplanes. And so, I just drove, and I didn't even pay attention to what it was first, but I drove and I drove and I drove and I drove. Actually, I was riding with somebody. And I thought, that is the same thing you're building. The same thing, and it's where they build the Boeing airplanes. We have the headquarters for Microsoft, headquarters for Amazon, and the courtyard of Seattle. Now, there's not only imports and exports all over the world, to and from all over the world in there, but also cruise ships, commercial cruise liners dock at these places. So, listen, people are moving into the cities of Covington and Maple Valley and Black Diamond and Kent and all these other places to what they call bedroom communities of Seattle. Basically, what that means is they move into, they get up early, they move to these little bedroom communities because they don't want to live in the city of Seattle because of taxes and all that kind of stuff. And so they move into these bedroom communities. They get up early in the morning. They drop the kids off at the sitters. They drive into Seattle to work. They come back home, pick up their kids. They go home, they eat supper. They go to bed and do that 5 days, and in some cases 6 days a week. And on that 7th day, on Sunday, they just don't give their time to God. They just want to. They want to go out to the channel. What is the Puget Sound? They go out to the Puget Sound, which is very public, very socialized now. And we'll be probably about 5 or 10 minutes in the Puget Sound. And then I don't know if you guys like coffee. I can't stand coffee. I don't understand the whole concept of getting dirt, pouring water in it, and heating it up and drinking. I never understood that. Now I know I'm probably just me, maybe one or two other people who feel that way. I don't drink coffee of any kind. I don't drink coffee, and this is probably bigger sin than that. Something I don't drink tea. Anyway, I drink a lot of water. I probably drink 100 ounces of water every day. I drink a lot of water. But if I do drink soft drink, it's either Diet Sun, Kiss, or Coke. And But the reason I said that about coffee, you know whose main headquarters are in Seattle, Washington? Starbucks. Yeah, listen, yeah, no, that's another one too, that's right. But in Starbucks, in Seattle, Starbucks, they have Starbucks stores there like we have churches here. I'm not exactly. Those things are everywhere in Seattle. This is a very typical community in Covington and Black Mountain, Maple Valley. I want you to notice how close these houses are together. Right here, where that shadow is. The majority of these houses are so close together, you can literally call out of the top bedroom window of one house into the bedroom window of the next house. Now, I don't like that, let me just say. I like where nobody can see my house if I had my way about it. But these houses, this particular development has probably, it's not as big a one. It probably has 125 to 150 homes in it. But then they have some with nearly 250 homes in it. And they are building them everywhere inside the city limits of Black Diamond, Covington, and Maple Valley. I mean, they're going up like crazy. And like I said, people coming, moving into there so they can work in Seattle. I keep getting that corner. This is just a little bit of scenery there. This particular one is taken in Black Diamond. And you see that one off in the future, in the distance there. And that's really pretty. I love that. Yeah, it is a beautiful, beautiful place. But I want you to understand something. The common need for all these people is this. All 7 million plus people in the state of Washington, every single one of them has a common need to hear and receive the gospel of the Lord Jesus Christ. Now, I'm not saying all 7 million people are lost. But I'm saying all 7 million of those people need Jesus. Now, some of them saved, obviously, but a lot of them are not. The great majority of them are not. You know, around here, if you go knock on doors, around here, if you knock on the door, just go out, the door is so in it. And you say, you know, are you a Christian or have you been saved? Well, that's just going to be yes. You know, I've been sold in this around all my life. And, pardon me. And the answer is almost always, yeah, I've been saved. Yeah, I've always been a Christian. I've been a Christian my whole life. You know, that's their answer. But out here, they'll just flat tell you, no, I'm not. And I don't want to be, but listen. We knocked on the door one day, and the man came to the door, and we were actually getting ready to leave. He had one of those signs on the side of this door, on the side of this house, like I was telling you about a minute ago. Well, at the door, and man, he let us have it. We found out where we're from. He said, well, the guy with me, he was doing the talking. He said, can we just at least leave you a tract? And the guy said, no, he didn't want it, didn't know or care anything about it. Not too many, maybe 30 minutes after that, I saw a boy walking on the road. I want to come and say, hey man, what you doing? And he just starts laughing. That's all I said. All I said was, hey man, what you doing? Well, if you say it like that with a southern accent, he just starts dying laughing. I'm like, what are you laughing at? He said, you? And well, you know what? That broke the ice. His name was Lester. I started talking to Lester. In a matter of about 10 minutes, Lester was down and said, trust in Christ is safe on the side of the Amen. You see, there are 7 million people there. 57% of them claim zero affiliation with God. Couldn't hear anything about God or right or wrong. But there are some that if somebody will come to them with a clear presentation of the gospel, they'll be saved. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to go and we're going to find them. Amen. We're going to get these people saved. So please pray for the Randolph family. Let me really quickly just kind of tell you a little bit about me. Then I'll give you an opportunity to ask any questions that you might have. I apologize for drinking so much water. I sweat like a camel, or like a pig, and drink like a camel. I guess we could say it. I was 44 years old, and the youngest of 6, like I told you this morning. And we were living in Fort Worth, Alabama. And we were in the Army. My dad was in the Army while we moved so much. And my dad died of a heart attack when I was 7. He was 36. And we moved back to My mom used the money that she got from my dad's insurance, and she bought a home. And we moved directly across the street from the only bus route, from the only bus captains, the East Side Baptist Church. And not long after we moved in, I think the Saturday after we moved into that house, which had been in January of 1979, I heard a knock on the door. And I was sitting there in my chair, 8 years old by this time, watching NWA wrestling. That day, how long ago that's been. Watching NWA wrestling. And there was a man and a woman standing at the door. And I opened up the door, they asked me my name, and they said, and they offered me a piece of gum. And they said, would you like to ride the bus with us to church? I said, Mom, this man and woman here said that I could ride the church bus if I wanted to. He said I could. I did. From that day to this, I've been trying to live for the Lord and working with bus routes almost the entire time. Still work on the bus route now when I'm not traveling, and when I'm in town, I work on bus routes. And I stayed there, and I got saved. I got called to preach when I was 13. Well, I actually saved at age 13, and I still surrendered to preach at age 13. And I had a pastor who loved me, and a bus captain loved me. All these years later, I was presenting our work. At a church in our county, and there was an old white-headed man, and a little short, now gray-headed lady. And they came up to me, now listen, remember I told you in 1979, I started riding their bus. All these years later, in 2015, they're in a different church now, and they still drive a van to pick up boys and girls to bring them to Jesus. And, and so all I'm saying is that in the state of Washington, there's little boys all over the place on Saturday morning sitting there watching some kind of television. All I'm going to do, I'm going to go back on the door and say, listen, I just want to let you know that Covington has a pastor now. And whether you come to my church or not, here's my name and my phone number. And if you need a preacher, I sure do wish you could. But see, I'm not going asking for anything. I'm telling you, listen, the only reason that I'm leaving North Carolina and going 3,000 miles away is so I can tell a lost and dying state about Jesus.
Amen. Right.
See, it's that important. It's that important. Listen, what if you had family that lived in Washington? Let me ask you this. What if you had family who lived just over in Hendersonville? Would you want somebody to go tell them? What if you had family in McDowell County? Wouldn't you want somebody to go tell them? Wherever it is you have, well, listen, those 7 million people in Washington, there's somebody's sons and daughters. There's somebody's moms and dads. And we're commanded to reach the world with the gospel. And it's everybody, it's every single person in the world that is saved. It's your job. It's your job personally. It's my job personally to win the world to Christ. You say, true that. Well, I won't take time to do it, but if you read the book of Acts and read Acts 1:8, go down through there and see what each of those little places means. One of them means your local place, the other means like your state, and then your country, and then the world. It's your job to win the world. You say, how do you do that? Well, wherever you are, you try to win your area, wherever you are, by soul winning and witnessing.
Amen.
And then you send money through Faith Promise and through maybe just personally you help other missionaries. And you do that by giving. You say, well, how can we help you? Well, there's a few. There's number one, you can pray for us. And listen, I say this everywhere I go. I promise you, if you can't pray and give, and it's not just something missionaries say, I promise you, I believe this. If you can't pray and give, I'd rather you pray. Now, that doesn't mean that I don't want you to give. All right, it's the way it works. You can't go out there without support. But your prayer is infinitely more important than your money. So you pray for us, and then also the financial support, the way that pray that God will help us get from church to church to present our work. Over the next, I don't even know how many miles I'll be fine. I have a lot of local appointments. I say local, I think 2 or 3 hours from now through the summer. From the 3rd week of September to the 1st or 2nd week of November. I think I'm home 5 days preaching. And we'll be flying out to Washington. A couple months later, going to Colorado, Missouri, Oklahoma, all these places. He said, "What are you doing?" She's like travel. I'll be honest with you, I really don't like travel. I don't like being away from my family. And sometimes they get to go with me, but my school going on, a lot of times they don't. But I believe it's the will of God. I know it's the will of God for us to go. So we got to travel and raise some money, raise support. Listen, let me just say this. And I'm just a little country boy. Well, I'm not country compared to some people, but fair to most places that I go to in the country. I'm the youngest of 6. My dad died when I was 8, like I said. And listen, we grew up without much at all. When I was 14, I didn't understand what was happening, but my mom lost our house because she couldn't pay for it. And so I don't like to talk about money. I've never liked to talk about money. Now, I had a pastor brother who was really my father figure growing up, and he taught me about money. He taught me the things that a dad should teach their kids about and how to save money and how to be honest with your money and tithe and work and all this other stuff. But I've learned that if you're going to be a missionary, you got to talk about it. So you just help me pray that God will help us finance, that God will meet our financial needs. You say, how do you know He will? Well, because the will of God never leaves where the grace of God will not provide. And we know God called us, and so we know He's going to provide for us. So that's just that's really all about me. My story for the most part. And, does anyone have any questions for me, whether it's about me personally, whether it's about our ministry, anything about the state of Washington, anything whatsoever that you might have a question about? I'll be happy to answer if I can. Yes, sir, Pastor.
How long have you been on deputation? And will you plan on, when you get out there and get church planted, are you planning on starting a Christian school?
The first question is, excuse me. I've been on deputation for, I think 8 months, 8 to 10 months. I think I've been on deputation, but I've also been working. As at the end of this month, at the end of May, I will be full-time. I'm quitting my job, and we're going to spend the next year on deputation. My wife will still be working at the school where our kids go, but I will be on full-time deputation for 1 year, and then we'll be going. When we get to the state of Washington, about an hour, 45 minutes to an hour from where we'll be living, there's a good Christian school, a good independent fundamental Baptist Christian school. At the first, we'll put our kids there. But on down the road, as we get our church established and God begins to bless, if there comes a need, if God puts on our heart to start a Christian school where people don't have to drive an hour to go to it. I'll be honest with you, just my own personal preference. I would rather go send our kids to another good independent fundamental Baptist Christian school than I would to start one. And it's just, but that's just preference. Now, if God ever leads us to start one, we'll certainly start. But like I said, about 45 minutes to an hour away is a good Christian school. So when we first start, we will not be starting a Christian school. But on down the road, if it becomes if God blesses and we have a church full of young people who want to go to a Christian school but can't go an hour, then at that point, if God let us do it, we would certainly consider. Anyone else? Any questions at all? All right. God bless you. Listen, I just want to, I'm sorry, brother, do you have a question?
Yeah. You talking about not having no churches, no Baptist churches out there. Do they have any place like Bible bookstores and places for people like that can buy Bibles? Do you know any like at the mall?
I don't know of any. If there are any, I don't know. Now again, I'm sure in Seattle, they've got, I think in the city of Seattle, I think they have 3 good independent Baptist churches. And again, but those 3 together probably don't average 200 people. In a big city of Seattle. I mean, that's together. So I say that because I don't know of any kind of Bible bookstore there. But what I do, there's a few churches that use resources for their people. And a lot of times what these churches will do is they'll buy some good Bibles and some good Christian literature and keep it at their church for when the people want it, they can get it there. So, now I'm not saying there aren't any, but if they are, I don't know. But again, I haven't lived out there yet either. I've been out there for about 3 days is all. So
If I could get you started out there and then a member of your church be led to start and build a Bible bookstores.
that'd be awesome. That'd be awesome. When we get enough people, I'm gonna tell them you said that. Listen, I'm for anybody. I'm for anything. I'm for any Bible. I'm for any store, any ministry that gets the word of God out and give Christian. Everyone's all about the junk, and, the RSV and the NIV and the MIC and the KEY and the USC and all that other stuff. Listen, he gave me out every bit as inspired as the NIV. Amen. So, anybody else? Yes, sir.
How reluctant are they, or how openly do they accept the God compared to here?
Compared to here, they don't at all. They are so wrapped up in their politics and in the sport, and their politics are extremely liberal. Very few people. And again, I say this, but then at the same time, I just talked about winning Lester to Christ. But you got to understand there were probably 50 doors where people didn't even talk to us before we got to Lester. And so they're not very receptive. But here's what they are receptive to. It's what everybody else is receptive to. They are receptive to people being kind. They're receptive to somebody who will show that they love them. And you win them to you, and that will in turn help you be able to win them to Christ. When I'll tell you this, it's kind of will explain how they are. When I get out there, this will help you understand what our philosophy is going to be. When we get there, I'm not going to go rent a building, which, by the way, is ridiculously expensive. I live in a 3-bedroom home that we pay $500 a month for and rent. That same $500 home in the state of Washington would be $2,000. My wife has spent hours and hours and hours looking. She did find a few houses that were around $1,500, but they were very, very few and very far between. And so it is greatly. Gas is about, when I was out there, about 40 to 45 cents a gallon more than it is here at any given time. But when we get out there, we're gonna roll up our sleeves and we're gonna knock on the door. And I've got thick skin. I've been called about anything you can call. And listen, when people turn you away, they don't turn you away. They don't even know you. They turn away the person you represent. Okay, that's what you need to understand. So when we get out there, we're gonna roll up our sleeves and we're gonna go knock on doors and win a few people to Christ and try to start a Bible study in our home or in somebody's home. And then we'll do that until the Bible study gets big and we have enough to actually, we'll start taking up offerings in that Bible study. And then until we have enough where we can find us a building. And then when we find us a building, we'll do it. We'll incorporate our church and we'll just keep, doing the same way, doing the same thing we did to get us started. It's going to go door to door on every Tuesday and every Thursday. And it's a little bit of a long story why we use these 2 days. But on Tuesday and Thursday, my schedule is going to be this. From the time after I get up and have my personal devotion with the Lord, and then I go out to work on Tuesday and Thursday, I'm going to spend my days on those 2 days going to every business in the entire area. I'm going to give them my card and say, listen, I'll go in, I'll say, can I speak to the manager? The manager, when I get to speak to the manager, I'll say, listen, my name is Wayne Randolph, and I pastor the only church in Covington, Washington now, and I just want you to know I don't want anything from you. I don't want a discount. I don't want anything from you. The only reason I'm even here talking to you is so that you know that if you need me, I'm available. And I'll help you in any way that I can. I'll help you and your family in any way that I can. And see, then we beg the Holy Spirit that when something comes and they need a pastor, that the Holy Spirit will remind them of that big guy from North Carolina that couldn't talk right. They gave me a card. And see, what that means, listen, we're just going to be kind to them. We're going to let them know we're available, and that now there's a pastor, there's a preacher, strange as he may be, there's a preacher in Covington, Washington now. And we're going to try to help him. And so, no good.
Now, is your plan just to start with one church, or is your plan that God grow that church and then maybe a preacher surrender under you, you train him to take it over, you go start another one?
Something close to that.
That's what Paul did.
That's exactly what Paul did. And I prayed about what to do about that. And this is how God has led us to do it. Do exactly what you said. Get people saved, and then beg, and then pray that the Lord will send a young man or young couple up, whether a man has been called to preach, and then do all the legwork for them, but then send them to start a church that we completely finance. That way, that young preacher can go out there and be full time, and we help them get the building, help them get all that stuff. And here's the reason that I feel like the Lord helps us do it that way. If I stay at our church in Covington and send the young couple out of our church to a neighboring community, to a neighboring city or community in Washington, and finance them, then start and be very, very involved, hands-on with that young preacher and his wife and his family to get them started. Then when he gets started, then that's a group of people who's going to have to get to know this young pastor. But if he stays there where I'm at, and then I go, then that's two churches that have to get used to the new pastor. I just feel like that God would have me stay in Covington, and by proxy, start different churches throughout the state of Washington through people that God brings up in our church, and do as Paul did, keep going back and checking on them, making sure that they're doing right, making sure that they stay with the right music, stay with the right Bible, all that kind of stuff. So we can check on them, but we keep pastoring Covington and send people out to start churches from our church throughout the state of Washington. So our church will definitely be starting people, and we'll be helping, we'll be financing them and all that. But our person will stay in Covington, run that work, and send people out, and then we'll kind of be like a mother church for these other church plants until they're able to make it on their own. Anyone else? Yes, sir.
Yes, I was wondering if y'all like give away free Bibles. I know a lot of mission fields, they give a lot of free Bibles out just to get the word out. I was just wondering if y'all have.
What we have is a lot of John and Romans, which is a book that contains the book of John and the book of Romans. And we will be giving a lot of those out. And there will be times when I know at another church we have Bibles for that specific purpose. We will give to churches to give out. So yes, we will. We'll be giving, if we can get them to take a Bible, and even people who sometimes we won't talk to you, they'll be willing to take something from you sometimes. If we just get the Word of God in the house, we'll let the Holy Spirit take care of the rest. Anyone else? Yes, sir, brother.
Do you think we'll be going into bigger cities?
Our plan is when I hope, like I said, we're only about a 30-minute drive from Seattle. And so my hope is that as our church grows, that we'll be able to reach into the inner city. And Seattle, our main goal will be to Covington, Black Diamond, and Maple Valley. But I'm hoping that as we grow and as our resources become more and more, that we'll be able to reach into the city, maybe help. I've thought of things about like soup kitchens or things where we can keep the homeless and all kinds of stuff like that. So we do plan to. Seattle is really the only large city that's close enough for us to get to. But as our church, once we get our church established and it grows, then absolutely we'll try to reach into the city. Yes, sir.
Are there any other preachers that
I do know a few preachers, like I said, who are about 45 minutes to an hour away. But we don't have anyone going out. There is one young boy who is 19 kids, 18, he'll be 19 when we went there. And he's a young preacher, and he feels like God's called him to ministry. He was talking to me about it. He's praying about going out there with us, but that's the only, but he'll still be working there with us. But other than that, there's nobody else going out anywhere close to where we are. That's how it works. Not yet anyway. You know, and it's hard to get some of those pastors out there to support because there have been so many guys. I mean, just scores of young men who've gone out there to start a church and stay and then get all their money, get all the support and all that stuff, and then 3 months later they're gone. You know, because it's a little harder than what they thought it would be. You know, well, I'm not going out there expecting it to be easy. But what happens with those guys who come and leave, they forget that God called them. If God ever did call them, then what David said, also they would close themselves from the Lord. You know, I don't see how you can be saved and claim to serve the Lord and not be somewhere where you know God has called you. So, anyone else? Anything else? Well, we sure do appreciate you letting us come. And, I thank you so much. I love this is a really good church. And the singing and the preaching, I just love it. And first time getting to be here. I hope it won't have to be my last time being here. But I do appreciate all y'all. And I sure appreciate your preaching. It's just God bless you.
I've enjoyed this all day.
Amen, bro.
Amen. What a blessing it is that someone's going to go into a higher country. Trying to win back the area. Because he was talking about all the people in these 3 cities that had sort of been forgotten about, pushed aside. You all know me, I'm mission hearted as it comes. I believe in mission.
You know, I asked you about their elections. I hear it. But I believe that once you get one, it'll cause others.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
And the more you get, the more they'll live.
You know, if you didn't like me, but I'm one of your neighbors in the Lord,
Yeah.
who you were very close to,
Yeah.
you might not believe anything I say, but you believe what you need.
That's right.
Every year has a great point. It's exactly right.
Brother, I want to ask you, everyone, what was the name of the church that you pastored? And how long did you pastor there?
I pastored the Heritage Baptist Church in Oak Fort for 6 years. 7 years. So that's where everybody, you know, memory.
See, the name has been hard for me to remember, but I knew I'd heard the name before. And it had to be out of Heritage. You know, I thank God for all His blessings. Now, church, we're not going to vote tonight. I don't. Used to, I'd vote right then when the missionaries there. I believe now, as years has went by, you pray.
Yeah.
Amen. You pray, and we'll vote Wednesday night.
Amen.
But we'll move. I'm gonna give you a week to pray. Next Sunday morning, we'll vote on whether to take him on as missionary or not. I will tell you this: I done the math on the missions on our faith promise, and we got enough funds that we can support 7 missionaries out of just a little country church.
Amen.
I know some big churches right now that only supporting 3 or 4.
Another thing is that I like to say, Doug, is that our, his from church is crucial. You don't have to pay something. Lots of good crucial now. Nothing feels great. Their prayer.
You got that right.
Amen.
So pray between now and next Sunday morning. brother, I'll be in touch with you and let you know. And I'm gonna ask y'all to pray tonight. Sherry, if you notice, she left. My wife, my daughter, Kira's hurting in her chest and her lungs. She's wheezing real bad, almost like an asthma attack. She's ran her over to Margaret's Hospital to be checked out. So we're thinking, why do you went after service? It was something that I just wanted to get her checked out with.
Amen.
Safe and sound.
And, you know, she was sick here a few weeks ago and she went to Washington, D.C. and she come back, and as soon as she come back, it's been not even a week. Here she's sick again. So I'm gonna get her checked out again. So be much prayer about that. Amen. I'm sure any parent in here would have done the same thing I did tonight. So it helps your child.
Oh, yeah.
14 years old. We'll do that. And DJ's asked if we have special prayer for him.
Yes.
He sent me a text message just a little while ago. He said he's hurting pretty good right now. So we'll have special prayer for him and for Kira. And like I said, be much in prayer tonight and this week about this family and about what way we should support them or not. And I'm like the brother said, I believe in foreign missions, and you ain't gonna change my mind. That's right. But it's strange, Brother Marshall, that 100,000 people we have forgotten about.
That's it, buddy.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's a shame.
Yeah.
If it's like that, Marshall, we'll have the other states. That's right. James, we're used to, I'll be honest with you, we're used to getting mad here and we'll leave here and go up the street.
That's right.
Yeah.
Exactly right.
Church, let me give you an example just in this area. You got Grace Independent Missionary Baptist Church, which is here. You got Chapel Hill Missionary Baptist Church, which is a quarter of a mile up the road. You've got Sweet Creek Missionary Baptist Church, which is just right over here. You've got Arden Missionary Baptist Church, which is about 5 miles from here. You've got Fletcher First Baptist Church, which is about 5 miles from here. Trinity uses the NKJV. Trinity right down here, yeah. The big church. You got some of you, I guess they're Free Will Baptist, but right there. You've got Bowling Springs. You've got Truth Missionary. You've got this church right down here. This church right down here. Pleasant Hill. 9, 10 churches within a 10-mile radius, independent missionary Baptist churches. And I missed a bunch. I missed a whole lot.
Oh, yeah.
Something popping here.
Right here in this local area. Huh? Mills Gap Missionary Baptist Church. Right just right over the road. I see it now. Look, you get what I'm getting at. Look at how many in just a 10-mile radius of here there is.
You know, Pastor, my old pastor before he started coming here, Dale's a Black Mountain cop, and he's able to get on his computer and pull up the census of the area that he can control. And between Black Mountain and O-Team, right before you get into Asheville, there was over 260 churches. Not counting the denomination that they are, but over 260 within a 10-mile stretch.
260. They need it.
I just want to tell Brother Wayne that I was very impressed with this morning. Because he preached.
Yeah.
And I like that. He wasn't scared. He wasn't afraid to preach what God told him.
Amen.
But you know, there's too many preachers get out of the pulpit and the pulpit gets scared. And, you know, they won't preach the gospel because they're afraid to make it mad.
way he preached this morning, he ain't scared. He's got a backbone, and I like that. But you don't see that much.
Not anymore, not this day and age. You don't see many preachers back home. Well, you know, when you offend somebody, that's where they begin to grow. But I appreciate what the Lord's done. So let's be much in prayer. If we all can, let's gather around up here. We'll have a special prayer for DJ and special prayer for kids. We'll close our service this way. Last program for you.
Oh, Heavenly Father, we ask you, Lord God, Lord, in this name that he's hurting with, Lord.
Touch our daughter, God, there, Father,
Lord, you can hear me.
complications.
Touch care of their hearts,
God, I
Lord.
pray, Lord, that
You see what's going on with the breathing of chest.
God, I thank you,
Lord
Lord,
Jesus.
for your grace.
God, we know
I know
that
some of that
that you're more than capable of.
God, I pray, Father, that
God, we
your
know
will
you
be
can speak in your name.
touch DJ. Lord, I thank you for the man of God tonight. Lord, I thank you for the presentation. God, I thank you, Lord, for opening our eyes, making us realize.
We're going to go from you, Lord.
God, I praise your name. Father, move dear Jesus.
God, we give glory to your name, Lord. Above all names.
Father, we thank you in Jesus' name. Don't forget as you go and be praying about the support this week, but also be praying as Brother C.P. Townsend is still working on getting a date for the youth revival. Amen. So don't forget about that. I'm looking forward to that one. Man, one thing is we might have to extend this season. That's what I'm looking at. Here. Yeah, you have to stand down here. You ever met him?
I just stayed.
His head will run back. But be praying about that. We have been in discussion. I talked to him 2 or 3 times. Just trying, as busy as he is, with as many books as he is, and he's got. So what we're talking about doing is doing a Friday night, midday Saturday, and Saturday night service. And then that 3 services in a weekend. Amen. In 2 days. That's a lot. This is, trust me, he's booked up for about 3 years out just on Sundays. So it's yeah. So when we first started talking about it, it didn't look like it was going to take place. Now it's coming together. Everything's falling in line. Amen. See what God wants done, it'll work out. Amen. So just continue praying for that. Go praying, come praying. Don't forget to tell someone about Jesus. You're living in the Lord.